Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat.
What's up? True Heel Heat.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for our NJPW World Tag League 2024 review. Breaking down this morning's show from New Japan Pro Wrestling, wrapping up the 1 month tournament for the Heavyweight Tag League as only we can. And to do that, I am joined by my fellow never openweight 6-man tag team champions. First up, we got the MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy Jay News.
Well, it is good to be back on True Heel Heat. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's evening currently, I believe, over there in the UK where Sonal is at, because it is dark past our window. So, talking all things New Japan, I think that SP3 and Sonal are going to walk me through some of the happenings that happened in the Tag League. So I've missed a great deal, but I did not miss the finals. And that is what we're here to talk about as well. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody. Welcome back to True Heel Heat, talking that New Japan goodness. And let's get the show on the road.
And of course, we are joined by the most positive New Japan Pro Wrestling fan in the world today, YouTuber, podcaster, vlogger extraordinaire, and on her way to Japan. It's Sonal. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I feel like because they always say they're like World Tag League is like the last major tour before Wrestle Kingdom. So like, it hit me now. Like as today on commentary, they talking about Wrestle Kingdom. I was like, in less than a month, I would have been to both Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, and I still can't get over that yet.
You're still not believing what you're about to experience, aren't you?
Legit, like it doesn't feel like I've packed maybe like 4 pieces of clothing, and I'm like, no, actually, like in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm going to be on a 13-hour flight.
Damn. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. She's on her way, checking off the bucket list. But we gotta finish up with the last Japan Real Tour, like you said, for New Japan Pro Wrestling of 2024. So we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. Help the YouTube algorithms. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat if you're with us live. We'd love to interact with all of you. Hear your thoughts on World Tag League, the tournament, as well as this morning's finals. Let us know in the live chat. We'll highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And we always appreciate the support. We got I Make Beats in the chat with us today who says, congrats, LIJ. Props to the fucking madman as well. By the way, Zach and Roy the Mullet might be my new fave tag team. Let's get it. I heard so many people, New Japan fans on social media, tell me that their new favorite tag team is ZSJ and Oyowa.
It just works perfectly, and like I'm like, I know obviously this is a big thing, but the whole TMDK like the whole feel of the faction just works. Like in the multi-man matches, Fujita was always teaming with them, and my favorite thing in the world is seeing Mikey Nichols, Shane Hayes, and Fujita come out. Shane Hayes and Fujita basically just taking the piss and having fun. And Mikey Nichols looking like the exasperated dad who is like half annoyed, half proud of what his sons are doing.
You got the immature son who's only in college because you paid for it. And then you got the goofy 13-year-old kid.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like the whole TMDK dynamic works perfectly, and like I'd never think that you could have a good team with Zach and Oiwa just because like the age gap and the experience difference, but it works so well.
Roy the Mullet. We got I Make Beats who mentions we got some crazy storms at the moment in the UK. Stay safe, Sonal. Stay safe, I Make Beats. Stay safe, Sonal. Yes, I've been hearing about the storms out there. I'm like,
to be fair,
when I leave, I'm the one who messed it up. I left and I start getting crazy storms. You see what happens?
Yeah, it's all your fault. To be fair, it's not too bad here. It's raining and windy, but like I think it's more of like the west, so like near Wales and stuff. So I mean, it's still rainy, but yeah, if you're at that side of the country, please take care.
Absolutely. We got Alex Powell who says the upcoming shows, Wrestle Kingdom and Dynasty, are nicely stacked. I've been hearing mixed stuff online as far as the feelings going into Wrestle Kingdom and especially Wrestle Dynasty. I've saw some people make the argument that AEW isn't bringing over their like top talent, like New Japan always gives their top talent for Forbidden Door. I've heard some stuff about that. What's your feelings on the Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty cards heading into January, J News?
I have read and heard about what you were talking about in regards to folks feeling like AEW is not sending their top stars and things of that nature. Look, man, at the end of the day, I feel like we still have a couple of weeks left, right, before the shows even become cemented. What we have so far, I feel, is pretty good. I don't know. I'm just never under I'm never under the impression that either company is going to send their top talent over to do major matches for these combined shows. It's never even been that way for Forbidden Door. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to be fair, so people are like, oh, why are Okada and Ospreay not on the show? And it's like, they got shit to do. They got families and stuff. I don't know.
Okada's a dad again. Okada,
Exactly.
his wife had a second child. He don't want to be traveling when he's got a new baby.
So and I think I don't know. At least from an interview standpoint, always watching interviews with Will Ospreay and him, like, not that he never wanted to go back to Japan, but like that's not necessarily what he wants to do right now. You know what I'm saying? So
he said like within the first year or something, he was like, I've got no plans to go back within like a certain time frame.
Mm-hmm. So it's like I guess because we're marks for this shit, right? we're into it. We understand it, and most people are like, oh, but where's this person? Where's that person? I was like, I have a good feeling about Brody King versus David Finlay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's a cool matchup. The ladies matchup should be good after their tournament wins and losses or whatever the case is, and now it all breaks down. And
I'm hoping they add another ladies match.
I don't know if
do they have to have the gauntlet? Like that one at the start that I've got from New Japan, AEW, CMLL, and Ring of Honor.
Well, no, that's the 4-way. That's the International Women's Cup.
Yeah.
Isn't that our Dynasty?
Yeah, that's at Wrestle Dynasty, but that's the only women's match.
Yeah, he wants another one.
Oh God, the Stardom one's on the 4th. I always forget for some reason. I thought the Stardom one was on the 5th.
Yeah. No. I don't know if they're gonna add another women's match, but I think that what they have going so far is been pretty decent.
You're telling me Mercedes Moné don't want to perform at Tokyo Dome? I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not saying that.
I think that we might get the announcement. If we don't get it in the next couple of days, I think we get it at the Strong Style Evolved after she beats Suzuki. That she's going to be at Wrestle Dynasty.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it all boils down.
That's the thing. There's still, like you said, J News. There's still a lot of shows. There's still the Strong Show and all the Road to Tokyo Dome shows. So
yeah, there are those shows. Obviously, whatever's going to be happening. TV wise with AEW and CMLL and ROH and stuff like that. There's still development to happen. So I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch at the end of the day. I used to be that way a lot. Nowadays it's like, all right, man, just let it come. Let me stop prognosticating at this point. I'll just watch and analyze as it goes.
I think that's the thing though. It's like doom posting. People are doom posting before it even happens.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
But that's what
I like to be a prognosticator, but I'm not a doom poster. So
do you know what I mean? Like personally, for me, I think because I know the issues always come and it's like, oh, AEW, New Japan, unequal and stuff, and like a lot of people are like, oh, is the Wrestle Dynasty show going to be good to the detriment of Wrestle Kingdom? And personally, for me, I think at this point, Wrestle Kingdom is a much stronger card, and that's the point. New Japan is going to focus all their efforts on that Wrestle Kingdom show. Dynasty was like a nice added bonus, but like for me, I didn't go to Japan to see the Wrestling Dynasty show. It's just a nice added bonus, and that's what a lot of people do. I can imagine there's not like many people out there who suddenly decided to go just for this Wrestle Dynasty card.
Yeah, there's also some talk online, especially from folks who are big Lucha fans, about where's CMLL's involvement in the Wrestle Dynasty show, like what's going on there. And it's like, well, they've got shows running into December as well. So there's still time for this stuff to develop, man. So give it time. Have some patience.
And this is why I mentioned that I was on the Fightful post show for AEW Collision, and we got a super chat from someone who asks about AEW's lack of acknowledgement towards Wrestle Dynasty. And I was like, there are places where they could have done it. Like last night on Collision, they had a whole interview with Takeshita, and they're asking him, after your win over Ricochet at Full Gear, what's next? I would have liked if they would have asked, hey, you got that big win over Ricochet. You got a big title versus title matchup coming up in Japan in January. They don't even have to say the event. They could just say a big title, just have some type of acknowledgement. And I think that it's weird that Kenny Omega is making his big comeback and they haven't mentioned it at all for this show. Or maybe they're purposely not mentioning it to save for his return to AEW.
Nah, they're just bitter that he's returning to Japan, not AEW. He's like, we're not going to acknowledge it because, he could have come here to combat, but he's chosen Japan. That's what I like to think. Someone's being really petty in the back.
I have a theory about that, but I'll let that play out the way it's going to play out. Okay. Because it's chosen words that these guys use in interviews, like, oh, AEW doesn't need me right now. Oh, really? So John Moxley and these people are taking over AEW and they have no need for you right now.
Well, to be fair, that's an interview outside of canon and stuff like that. But listen, I think that the reality is AEW does need him because it ain't going so well for them right now.
So what I meant to say is wrestlers are always going to work at the end of the day. Yeah. No matter if it's half truths, semi truths, no truths at all during interviews, they're always working. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, he'll be back in no time. That's going to be part of the storyline down the line and stuff like that. I don't have any. I ain't with the shits, man. Kenny Omega's going to be back on AEW TV soon.
SPP, can I ask you a question as like someone who watches, because you watch AEW quite consistently, and I only drop in and out. I've seen a lot of like takes on the booking and stuff. Is it really like as bad like as people are making out? Because I just see a lot of people shitting on everything that's going on A. And like I only watch the New Japan matches or ones with X.
No, it's very much been overblown for like over, I would say, a year and a half now, maybe longer. It's been very much overblown. The issues with AEW. I think that the issues are more prevalent and more noticeable to more people. So that has increased the discussion about it because they have the metrics and the numbers and the results are not looking good for them throughout 2024. And they're going to have a better 2025 automatically because they signed that new TV deal. But it is issues that they need to address, but they seemingly are not doing it. And it makes some of like the vitriol online even worse now.
To be fair, New Japan took ages to think about pushing their young stars.
They did. Yo, literally. Let me tell you, because I don't know if you know the result, but last night on Collision, Kyle Fletcher pinned Kazuchika Okada, and I was like, all these Three Musketeers and all these guys in Japan just looking at that and they're like, oh, now you want to do that. Now you want to put over the young talent. Okay. All we had to do was give you a few $1 million. All right.
At the end of the day, I think what people need to understand and realize is that Tony Khan is not Gato. See, Okada could smack up Gato and Okada can tell Gato, hey, go do this. Book me this way. Okada can't do that to Tony Khan. At the end of the day, so, yes, Tony Khan, I'll do whatever you want, Tony Khan. Give me a couple another million, Tony Khan. That's what Okada's at right now, and he's doing his thing in the C2 at the end of the day. But I agree with you, SP3. I think everything, especially with the vitriol that AEW gets and all that stuff, has been completely overblown. I'm not saying that it's perfect by any means. It's not perfect and stuff like that. I watch more AEW than I do WWE at the end of the day. But at the same time, it's a 5-year-old company. They just got a new TV deal, so it's about time for them to start doing maybe different things. Their lead of production, or whatever the case is, said that there's going to be a whole changeover starting in 2025. So we might see a whole new setup come for the mother of all whatever streams that they call it.
Mother of all simulcasts.
Exactly.
And they're running smaller buildings.
Right. So that's important as well. Yeah.
Because I think of their perception and a lot of the stuff that you hear online really has to do with them running shows in like 10,000 seat buildings and only getting like 1,000 or 2,000 people in there. And then you see all the pictures online of the half empty buildings. And then it's starting to become more noticeable on the TV product as well. And I really, if you really kind of think about 2024 overall, from January to August, AEW was kind of firing on all cylinders. They had a great first 8 months of this year, but they went into Vince McMahon post WrestleMania mode after All In and All Out. Like they went and they took their foot off the gas. They got a few weeks later, they get the TV deal, and then they just went in complete cruise control. Where, like it says in the chat, like I Made Beat says, it's very hit or miss week to week. And we kind of dealt with that kind of like looking back because it's December now, so we can look back on the year. We kind of were going through that with New Japan, where New Japan wasn't really hitting earlier this year. But between like the G1, Zack Sabre Jr.'s rise to the top, the new stars becoming more kind of to the forefront and getting huge opportunities and coming through with star-making performances, New Japan was able to kind of turn the tide at the towards the end of the year. So hopefully AEW can do that in 2024.
But I think, speaking on the small venues, I think that's why New Japan works so well, because they don't do weekly, but they do quite busy tours. But you'll notice that the size of the venues change. That they have the really small ones, which I think I was watching with someone like, why are the lights on? Because at these smaller venues, they don't tend to really put in loads of money and stuff. It's just to have the show. And then you have the big shows where they go all out. They have the big ones, the ones they know they can sell. And in that way, New Japan doesn't lose money, but they still get to go to all the places.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. But I also say that New Japan sometimes, I don't like to see these buildings that they run where they don't sell out all the seats and there's so many empty seats because they don't do what AEW does. AEW shoots their show differently. If one side of their building is not filled, New Japan just show their stuff. I was just like, some of these World Tag League shows, I was just like, just is not that many people in this.
It tends to be the weekday ones, which is kind of not really surprising because obviously people are working and the show starts 6. But like, I guess in one sense, it's good that they do go to the smaller places. But then I think they're the kind of place like where like AEW said they focus on like trying to hide if they've not got. I think New Japan are at the point where they're like, they know, and I think everyone in Japan because I think it's a lot of Japanese shows. You'll see it, and like on the weekday ones, they're not that busy, and I think they don't take that to heart. They don't try and hide it, which is why people don't make such a big deal about it. Whereas in AEW, they try and hide it, so then people are like, oh, what are they trying to hide? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true, and that makes all the pictures spot up and stuff like that. So that is true. We got RPGs. This big shout here saying, "Remember how empty the US G1 show looked in Dallas?" Yeah, that was like I was like New Japan. Y'all gotta find the tricks. Huh?
Which one was that one?
That was in 2019. The one with Takahashi and Okada in the main event.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. But let's talk about NJPW World Tag League 2024. We're going to get into the final in a bit, but I know me and Sonal follow along with the tournament. J News kind of saw it from the headlines and the results. The first show you saw was the final, correct?
Absolutely. It was just the finals for me. I'm transparent with you guys at the end of the day. I didn't really have a vested interest in Tag League just because we were talking about this off screen. It was lopsided. The A block had all the major characters. B block was kind of on the down end of things or whatever the case is. I couldn't make out where they were going with any of the Tag League stuff. And because of that, I felt that they were going to have some sort of either one of the makeshift tag teams make it out or something different, right? And I didn't know whatever the different was going to be until obviously this morning. And I don't mind the different at this point. But what I did walk away from this is that the New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight tag team division is still in shambles at this point.
Oh yeah.
So you know, it's one of those things where I would have figured due to the tournament that it would have given it some sort of a revitalization, but it didn't go that route. And unfortunately, we also had injuries during the tournament, which we'll talk about that when we get to that. So yeah, I don't, you know,
I mean, might as well just get into it because the major kind of talking point out of this show, as well as because I honestly came into this show and I was like, okay, sometimes the World Tag League final can have like a big angle or a big setup for a match for Tokyo Dome or something like that. Or at the very least, I came into this show being like, maybe we'll find out what they're going to do with the IWGP World Tag Team Championships, because it was announced, I believe, the end of last week or early this week, that Hanare suffered an injury in World Tag League, an injury that will force him and Great Okan to vacate the IWGP World Tag Team Championships. Very, very kind of sad injury around this time, especially. No.
Did you see? Yeah, so it was actually really rough and quite surprising. It's the same with the Callum Newman. Like, I had to watch it a few times. So it was a prelim match. It wasn't even a block match. It was LIJ versus Empire, and Hanare like hit the ropes and went for something with Naito. And then after the move, he was clutching his knee. And like, obviously, at first, Naito obviously thought it might be like a work, so he went to grab the knee, you know, as you do, because like it's a. And then I think Marty, or was it Sakamoto or somebody was there, or Kenta Sato, and like they suddenly just like put the X up. And with both the Callum and Hanare match, when I realized it was bad, it was when the opponents. So when Hiromu and Naito, and then for Callum, Zack and Oiwa looked genuinely concerned. Like, because even the Callum Newman one, so like he was on the top turnbuckle with Oiwa, and then I think he like from an angle you could kind of see it hit the turn or something, and then he came down, and it was like, and obviously this was in one show, like both these injuries happened, and I was like, shit.
And then there's also Shoto Aminu, who suffered an ankle injury. He still performed on this show, but I don't. Yeah, I saw you put the quote unquote, because I've been seeing that also online, that I think it was like New Japan just using all these real injuries to kind of slip in one to get more investment in their main event for Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, it helped because they kind of had that story with Gabe, didn't they? Like, with that ankle injury, which is why I think a lot of people thought that, because you can't tell me the guy's an ankle injury and he's off for one show and then he comes back.
Like, it's probably not that serious of an ankle injury then, sir.
Call me skeptical about that.
And mind you, the whole entire time yesterday, or this morning, should I say, during the match, he's there giving Zack Sabre Jr.'s foot. Like, here, test my ankle out. Like, come on, man.
That's my goat. Shoto Aminu. Fighting through injury.
In this house, we support a fighter. We support someone who fights through injury.
Fighting through injury. Not getting what I wanted, but I'm totally fine still supporting Shoto Aminu. But yeah, sorry, I hate to hear, any type of injuries, but especially around Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty time. It's the saddest part.
Like, holding the titles as well. Like, I'm trying to think if he's had like a big title match at Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe no,
I don't think so.
That's what I thought, and this would have been like the perfect chance for both Okan and Hanare really to have that statement IWGP match. I guess Okan might just be doing a King of Pro Wrestling thing. I don't know.
Yeah, he'll be doing his match with Taichi. So we'll
I don't know. I think that's more like
Road 2. You think it's gonna be
Road 2? Yeah, because that's the only time that Great Okan is the 2024 provisional champion.
True,
they crown a new champion at Wrestle Kingdom.
Right.
And I guess after the results today, I don't know would they do Taichi versus Sanada? Would they do it? Is it too soon?
I think that's literally. I was gonna save that for the main event, but I will say.
Oh, sorry.
I think the only reason why we got the result that we did is because Sanada has bigger fish to fry on January 4th.
And if that happens,
also the titles are vacant.
And if that happens, you'll see me in the Tokyo Dome with like 2 shirts, sobbing uncontrollably. One Sanada t-shirt, one Taichi t-shirt.
My ex-husband and my best friend.
My ex-husband and the Holy Emperor.
You know, I haven't been able to talk about this whole Sonata thing since.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I've
You just tried to hold your composure the last time I asked you about it.
It just, after watching the tag match this morning, and literally, and this goes to anybody really, like, he's still wearing his t-shirt the entire match. That shit pisses me off, yo.
That's the biggest. I said this online at J News. I said, betraying Taichi, I get it. Joining Bullet Club, I get it. But the most heel thing that man has done is wearing a crop top the entire tour.
And it's like, it's cut weirdly, and it's not even freaking. It's not even.
That's heel heat. That's heel heat, y'all.
Oh my god! I give Gabe.
I know you guys are longtime Sonata fans, but I just wanted to ask. Can I jump on the bandwagon now? Because I like the Sonata and the World Cup War.
No, you can't suddenly join because you want to join Crop Top Sonata. No, you weren't there.
Crop Top Sonata is where I'm at.
To be fair, like at first I was like, oh, I hate it. But I'm kind of like, after today's show and everything, like everything in Tag League, I am very much into heel Sanada. I think, like, because in a sense, he's not really changed his character too much.
He has it. That's why it pisses me off.
No, but that's the thing. That chilled off persona is what pissed off fans. And people are like, oh, he's not into it. Now he can do it, and if it pisses off fans, that's great.
I guess.
I mean, and I think this is what he needed because LIJ Sanada, I think it's sort of outrun it. When he was in Just Five Guys, I loved it, but everyone's saying he just doesn't care. He's too cool for school. He's not given the passion. He can just do that normal shtick now, and it just seems heelish. So I think he needed that.
I feel like Sanada is like most human beings. He is running away from change. He just doesn't like change. And at the end of the day, because he doesn't like change and he doesn't like the transition and shit, he wants to keep the same character and see where it works best. And now that he's heel Sonata, quote unquote,
SP3, cold-blooded.
Come on, man. First of all, you know he ain't never heard a Rick James line in his life. Cold-blooded Sonata. Give me a break.
Cold-blooded.
But secondarily, and to say as well, it's like when we're gonna get to the match, but by majority, Gabe was doing all the work, and I was there like, is this the thing? This is the thing. I was like, what are we doing?
Gabe had to yell at him to hit his move.
But I think that works because I'm excited to see the post-match comments. Obviously after this, because I want to know what beef now. Because obviously we started Tag League with Gabe beefing with Sanada. Then they got on like the same page, and now Gabe's going to be beefing with Sanada again. I'm like, yo, I can totally take this. That Sanada's shtick now is just pissing everyone off because he doesn't give a shit. And I'm all for it.
Gabe cares too much.
Yeah,
that's what makes them a good partnership. Yeah,
it's been an interesting dynamic to watch unfold, and because I'm like on even though I wasn't watching the tournament match by match, I was watching the backstage stuff and the promos after, and I was like, he really got in his face like that, man. Like Gabe's about this life. It's not as they're like, whatever, chief. Whatever you want to do.
Say, the highlight of Sanada's new heel stuff is, you know, when they won the main event and Gabe did his promo and he gave it to Sanada, and Sanada basically took his old promo but made it heel. So instead of saying, here is the town I love the most, he said, it's the town I hate the most. And then instead of saying, see you next time, he said, see you fucking next time. I was like, see, Sanada, you said he's afraid of change. He is. He kept the exact same shit for his post-match comment, but just made it heel.
slightly adding a word or two. That's all. That's all he had to do.
He literally changed one word and added another. That's it.
See,
Heel.
this is why I'm a fan of Crop Top Sonata. Crop
Interesting.
Top Sonata.
Sonada.
Crop Top Sonata.
Yo, should I take a banner for that Wrestle Kingdom? Just crop top Sonata.
Yeah, you should get a sign. You should make a sign when you go to Wrestle Kingdom. Crop Top Sonata. All right, we got to talk about this final. Oh, well, I wanted to ask Sonal, any kind of standout moments or matches from World Tag League you wanted to bring up before we get into today's finals?
Today, so the final match today, I thought was great. The problem is in Blockade there were so many good matches. One that's underrated, and I think because you wouldn't go out of your way to watch it. Zack and Oiwa versus Taguchi and Alex Zane.
I think I watched that one, yeah.
Because I know going into it, even Sonata was like, well, I know Taguchi, he's like the Arseman, but Zack is someone who appreciates good wrestlers, and he knew that. And Taguchi brought out a big match, Taguchi. And I think that in the midst of all the arse stuff and the funky weapon, people forget that Taguchi is a very successful, not only wrestler, but he's been singles champion, he's been tag champion. And this match, I think, was like, because I could say, oh, the ones with Bishamon were all, like, Bishamon did really well, all the TMDK ones and stuff like that. But if you're going to, one match that wasn't a main event, because I think all Blockade main events were great, watch Zack Sabre Jr. Oiwa versus Alex Zane and Taguchi.
My standout matchup, probably my favorite match and what I thought was the best match of the tournament was probably Zack Sabre Jr. and Ryohei Uiwa versus Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji. The rematch from the Super Junior Tag League. That was absolutely excellent stuff. Ryohei Uiwa, I thought that was kind of like one of his better performances since he came back to New Japan. And yeah, there was so many with the block A block main events, whether it was Bullet Club War Dogs versus Shingo and Tsuji, Bullet Club War Dogs versus ZSJ and Uiwa. I thought that Shoto Aminu and Honma versus TMDK, ZSJ and Oiwa was a great matchup as well. So
I liked Bishamon versus LIJ because I just think that Hiroki Goto and Shingo just generally have always had this amazing chemistry. They're both like never guys, both very strong, and it was really nice for because I think we've seen Shingo versus Goto, but having the added Tsuji and Yoshihashi, I think. Again, while they didn't make the finals, Bishamon were like the underrated heroes of this tournament because every match they had was a banger.
They always deliver, and that's why they're still the despite not winning this tournament, not making it to the finals. They're still the aces of
in their matching ring gear. They even went out the way their ring gear matched.
Every show they were in matching ring gear. That's for sure.
I know it's like a small thing, but in a division where obviously we've got so many makeshift teams, because technically Bishamon are the exception that they are both singles wrestlers and a tag team. But the fact that they've got the same ring gear, it's a small thing, but it shows that they take it's not just a World Tag League participation. It's literally they are a proper team.
Yeah, because there's only two proper teams in the whole division.
Can I ask a question here? Because I saw them participate this morning, and we'll get to this match. As a matter of fact, go through it, and then I'll ask. Let's go through the match and then ask.
Well, we got to start with our one word, one phrase to describe our feelings on the World Tag League 2024 final. Sonal.
Change.
J News.
I'll go with decent.
Decent. Okay. I will go with in the air. That's what I came out of this. I was like, a lot of stuff is in the air.
That's three words.
But
that's three words.
I said word or phrase.
Oh, okay.
But we kicked off the show this morning. The show had an attendance of 2,232 in Kumamoto, and the show kicked off with some Young Lion action as we had Dake Nagi going one-on-one with Tiger Mask, and this is exactly what you would expect. This one goes less than 6 minutes. Tiger Mask takes a lot of this matchup. The Young Lion makes his comeback, but in the end, it was Tiger Mask hitting the Tiger Suplex, the original, for the 1-2-3 with the bridge, picking up a victory here. A rare win for Tiger Mask, and he had to do it against a Young Lion. So I thought this was fine. I thought, a good look at the one of the newer Young Lions that we've seen here in Nage. He looked fine. I think we didn't get much from him though. What did you think, Jay News?
Yeah, much to what you were saying. Typical Young Lion versus New Japan Dad match here. What broke down. I want to ask you guys, because I saw his name come up during a lot of the tournament, but I didn't see him on this show. One of the other Young Lions, I think his last name is Yasuda. He wasn't on this show. Is he injured as well? Because that
he got injured earlier on. So they had to change all the Young Lion matches around. I think it was about 2 weeks. It was around the show to Umino injury, I think.
Gotcha. All right.
But his isn't an injury. His was a legit injury.
Gotcha. All right. So I just wanted to ask that because it's Young Lion related. So might as well figure to do that there. Yeah, man. Typical stuff. Daiki Nagai, by the way, SP3. So get his name right, dog. Get his name.
I was gonna bring it up, but I was gonna wait until I said it because I didn't want to just like insult like
y'all expect me to get these names right when I told y'all.
It's about commentary. It's not even about spelling it out anymore. Listen to Walker.
Hey, I'm writing notes. I'm doing stuff at the same time.
Just immerse yourself, and then you remember the name. See, I never write. Like I used to write stuff down when I used to write, but now I just go free. Just let it free flow. SP3.
Well, you're not the one that has to play the point position on this freaking review here. We're live, pal.
Sorry.
No, I'm good.
Sonal, what did you think?
Yeah, it was a typical yay for Tiger Mask. I want to speak about Nagai though, because he's a very interesting one. Because they brought up on commentary that him along with Murashima seems having because Nagai, I think he's a nutter, but in a good way. Because remember, he's caught the attention of Ishimori and stuff, and I think it's quite interesting that they're trying something new with allowing the Young Lions to showcase a bit more personality. So Nagai is doing it in his backstage comments. I was watching some of Gabe Kidd's old Young Lion comments, and it reminds me of that. He has a massive edge to him, and I could see him as a proper heel one day. And I'll speak about in the next one, Murashima, when he's been tagging with Tanahashi, that he's been showing a bit more fun and things. And I like that they're allowing them to do that, because it's been very different from the past generations. So it's good to see that. And Nagai, I think, seeing his potential for character now, I'm excited to see what's going to happen once he ends up graduating.
We are keeping our eye on Nagai. Next up, we had more Young Lions in action as we had Tetsuya Morishima and Shomo Kaito versus TMDK, Mikey Nichols, and Shane Hayes. This one was exactly what you would expect it to go, but it went a little bit longer. I think they're giving more kind of leeway to Kaito and Morishima, facing kind of not the typical opponents that the Young Lions would face, facing one of the top tag teams in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Nichols and Hayes. So they gave them a little bit more. The Young Lions showed a bit of fire, but in the end, it was TMDK taking control of this one, and Shane Hayes picking up the victory with the Shining Wizard, because his name is Shane and he did the Shining Wizard. It's the Shining Wizard, Shane Hayes, the most hilarious person in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So now, what did you think about this one? This one, fine. Like I said, the first two matches, Young Lion matches, you kind of get what you get. Sometimes they're very good. Sometimes they're solid. This was one of those solid ones.
Again, the match itself was fine. I'm going to bring up a low-key MVP of this tournament was Shane Hayes, just for being genuinely basically the coolest guy in New Japan at the moment. There's just something about him, whether he's on commentary or in the ring, the Shining Wizard. Just, this man has it all. I remember when I used to watch him, because I think I first found out about them, I was watching NXT, And I was like, yeah, it's a Shane's guy. But since he's continued, he's even more on like a heightened level. And it's so much fun to watch because wrestling can be too serious sometimes. And I like that Shane Hayes is an amazing wrestler, but just brings a lot of fun out in everything he does.
Agreed, 100%. J News, what did you think about TMDK picking up the win?
I mean, he is the hysterical one, man. Shane Hayes is a funny dude. I love his bits of comedy here and there. Mikey Nichols always trying to play the straight guy is hilarious, especially when they were walking up the rampway after they won the match. He was just like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what he's saying.
He's like throwing guitars into the crowd, fake imaginary guitars, and he's like,
I think like at the start, Mikey tried to like pull him back, but now he's just like, I'm just gonna let him do what he's gonna do because he's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, that's very true. The young lions themselves, though, yet again, another young lion class that I haven't necessarily sunk my teeth into here with Murashima and Kato. They've been, exhibiting more personality, to say the least. So we'll see as to where these guys go and how far they make it and things of that nature. But outside of like Loibe last class and stuff like that, like I don't in recent years, the at least the last year and a half to 2 years, nobody's necessarily sat with me from a young lion perspective. So it gets me a little worried. But as long as New Japan sticks to the strong style and they do their long-term storytelling, I don't get too far off the rocker. So hopefully,
to be fair, Bolton Oleg was in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan. So
no, I agree because me and J News have been saying this since his like graduation. He's still just a bit bland.
Agree.
Even in this like tag league, I'm not like he should be a menace, but like the fact that he's like, and I said this to my mom, and it's like quite interesting, is that Japanese is a beautiful language. It's so much intonation, but when he speaks, it just sounds very monotone, and I think that's just encapsulates who Bolton Oleg is to me at the moment. He's just one-dimensional, and I don't like that.
Yeah, he hasn't connected with me as of yet. I know other people out there. Shouts to Kieran, love him, but I'm just not with Bolton Oleg. Loibe, on the other hand, I did connect with. Really yes,
quickly.
So did I. Yeah, I liked it because he has a certain spark of personality, and for a guy his size, he really does. He's very athletic, and it's just different at the end of the day from a New Japan overall product standpoint. So yeah, I just haven't connected with both of those.
I think Oleg needs an excursion. I know that they fast tracked he needed it, and he still needs it.
Yeah, he's like exactly. But and another instance of kind of a young tag team basing one of the mainstay tag teams in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We had our third match on the card: Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi versus the Natural Classics, Stevie and Tubby Phillip. This one was a little bit more competitive than the last matchup, considering that the Natural Classics are kind of one of the main tag teams in Tamagotchi over in Australia, and we kind of got to learn more about their background for us who didn't watch all of the World Tag League and didn't get to see them much. They talked about them being kind of the top prospects from Tamagotchi and students of the Bad Luck Fale Dojo. So they looked good here, but in the end, of course, it was Bishamon picking up the victory with Shoto. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit of show of respect to the Natural Classics in the post match here as well. So a strong showing for the Natural Classics. I actually enjoyed this match than the prior two matches a little bit more, so I give it 3 stars. J News, what did you think about this tag match?
It was my first time encountering the Natural Classics, Tom Philippe and Stevie Philippe. And I did not know. This
guy with his accents.
Listen, look, all I'm trying to do is regurgitate what Walker and Chris Carlton were saying over the freaking airwaves, okay? This is not me being over the
Walker have a debate with someone. I can't remember on commentary about how it was said. They were like, "It's Tom," and then he's like, "No, it's Tom."
It's
I can't remember who
he
it
was
was.
Oh man,
look, I for weeks just reading off results, I've been saying Tommy Phillip and Stevie Phillip. But this morning when I listened to commentary, Walker and Chris were all about Tom Philippe and Stevie Philippe.
Stevie Philippe.
Okay, no problem. But in all seriousness, at the beginning of the match, I didn't connect with the natural classics. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, they're just here. Bishimon's getting, they're really warming up to each other or whatever. By the end of it, that's where I was like, okay, now these guys have something going on. And hold on a second.
Uh-oh, who's breaking into Jay New's house? Sonal, what did you think about this tag match?
So Jay New said by the end of the match he was kind of, I guess, warming or getting to. I still not connected with them. I've watched all their tag league matches. Still don't think I don't get them. I didn't understand why they were there. They didn't add anything to it. I don't think they benefited in any way. They got a bit more exposure in Japan, but I don't think they really. Did they get like 2 points? 4?
I think so. No, I think they got 4. They got a
4.
win at the start of the tournament and a win at the end of the tournament.
And like as something that's meant to like hype up Tamanashi, I don't know. Maybe it's the whole that they're part of Bullet Club, and I think they were trying. I always say, and this is something I think that like it's very hard to have a heel that's believable when their style seems babyface, and that's what I sort of feel about them. That they're heels with a babyface offense, and it can work sometimes. But in this case, for me, it didn't. And maybe it's because I've not followed them, and this is my first exposure to them. But
because usually when you work at a, at least from my experience of watching wrestling, right, heels, faces, and all that stuff, when you're doing fast-paced offense, you're usually more versed to be a babyface, right? Mm-hmm. But because they're working such a high pace, it's like, to your point. So no, I was like, oh, these guys are supposed to be heels. Like I don't get it. Like the mannerisms, the facials were heel facials, but the working style just didn't necessarily match what they were supposed to be doing.
It almost feels like the only heels that can really pull off the high offensive stuff is if you're going to say juniors, because that's their thing.
Yeah.
So for example, like when Robbie X did it, like juniors fine because that's the thing. But for 2 guys who are so big and so muscly, it just it feels off with them being in Bullet Club. And obviously I know it's the Rogue Army and stuff like that, but I just feel maybe it would have been better them coming into the tournament as their own people rather than under the Bullet Club banner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially when you're coming in on the Bullet Club freaking JV team, like the Rogue Army. I'm sorry, like
look,
out
man,
of all the spinoffs of the Bullet Club, I think that's the last place. Even House of Torture is ahead of Rogue Army.
But yeah, because at least people are aware of House of Torture. I bet you could ask loads of New Japan fans. Oh, they're from the Rogue Army Bullet Club. I was like, who?
Right,
exactly.
Because they don't necessarily promote it as much, right? And Tamashi's over at the corner and things of that nature, so they don't necessarily give too much credence to everything that's going on over in New Zealand and Australia and stuff like that. But they try promoting them throughout the match. They were specifically, I think Walker specifically said something about after the match was over that people can still watch the natural classics over in Oceania and OPW and things of that nature, that they have a championship match coming up soon and whatnot. So, just to give them a little credence during the broadcast. But still, to me, like, I wasn't able to connect with them fully. I saw some potential in them after the match was over, and they just need to, the naming conventions thing needs to be brought to a to a place where people could just say shit and know who they are and go from there.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Natural Classics name either. It reminds me too much of like the Naturals from TNA fame, early 2000s. But moving on to the 4th match on the card, we had some trios action as just 4 guys represented by Taiji Doki, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Taka Michinoku, and they face the King of Pro Wrestling 2024 Provisional Champion, Great Okan. Jeff Cobb, who is the Filipino world champion or something like that. I think he had that title. And Jacob Austin Young, the newest member of United Empire, JAYJ. This one was your prototypical kind of babyface versus babyface trios matchup that we get time to time in New Japan Pro Wrestling. No one kind of using different tactics to get the win. In the end, it was just 4 guys who took advantage of United Empire's youngest member or least experienced member in Jacob Austin Young. You get Doki, locks him in the Doki Choki, while Tai Chi locks on his submission hold on the Great Okan. Meanwhile, Takamichi Inoku's got the Taka lock on Jeff Cobb. And then post-match, after the victory for just 4 guys, you get Tai Chi. He grabs the King of Pro Wrestling 2024 Provisional Championship and seemingly makes a challenge to Great Okan. I expect that to be on the road to Tokyo Dome shows because, I mean, there's not much of 2024 left. So if you want to win the 2024 Provisional Championship, you should work on it now, Taichi. But otherwise, this is just another fine multi-man matchup. I didn't write anything home about this one at all. 2.5 stars. So now, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's got 6 guys from popular factions, and like you said, might be linking to something for that. I think, obviously, the tournament's not been the best for the Empire. This year's generally not been the best for the Empire. And I think in the comments, like that Cobb and O'Connor do, I think it's worth keeping your eyes out on what's the future. But here's another shout out. If the Empire want to do anything and during the Wrestle Kingdom week, I will be happily go and do karaoke. I'm still putting that out there. That I will if I go to karaoke with the Empire, I will make content and I will post it. So go onto Twitter and tweet all the members of the Empire.
I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to tweet Jeff Cobb and the Great Okan to go play karaoke with Sonal while she's in Japan. Meanwhile, Jay News, what did you think about this trios matchup?
So all in all, yet again, to your point, it was fine. It did what it was supposed to do. Obviously, it'll be leading to Tai Chi versus Okan in some sort of whatever the stipulation match is going to be, probably on the last show of the road to, if we're gonna lead it, and that'll be the main event of it. And Jacob Austin Young, good young wrestler, junior type at the end of the day. So hopefully we'll see more of him going into the new year and into the future and stuff like that. And he can be a mainstay in New Japan in that particular realm. Jeff Cobb, man, after he lost the NJPW World Television Championship, it's like he's just there. And I don't like that feeling with the big homie Jeff Cobb, man. So, I feel like they have to give him something different to do. To your point, he is now the Filipino world champion. I didn't even know pro wrestling existed in the Philippines like that. So, I'm being serious. Like in the Philippines per se, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wrestlers, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, really? All right, cool.
And even with the Filipino wrestlers, not that many. So,
true, absolutely. Yeah,
what was quite funny in the post-match comments was one of Zach's was like, "What do you mean he's a Philippine champion? I should be the Philippines champion."
Exactly. But yes, good showing by United Empire here. By just 4 guys here, and they need the success.
Just 3 guys because Uemura's injured.
Oh my God, they just keep going. We just keep going down and down the number chart with these guys. What's going on?
Next thing it's just going to be Taka at one point.
It's going to be just Guy.
Yeah. No, just Taka. He's going to change it because he wants to sell it. Just Taka.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're going to end up there eventually, but we'll see.
They'll all just turn on Taka for some reason.
So I just sent out the tweet. So I put here so the people can hear it. I said, at Real Jeff Cobb, at Great Okan. Could you please go to karaoke with my friend at Wrestling_chat while she visits Japan for hashtag NJPW Wrestle Kingdom 19 and Wrestle Dynasty weekend.
Go on, retweet it. I will retweet it when this.
At the end of the day, that's what real friends do for one another. She wants to make it happen. She wants to karaoke. Make it happen.
To be fair, because we're doing a week in Japan and a week in Korea, and I told like the people I'm traveling with, like, we're going to karaoke. They're like, we want to do it. Is it public? I was like, no. But the thing is, I don't care. I'm not a great singer, but when it comes to karaoke, I do not care. I will sell my lungs out.
No one cares. No one should care.
I said that. I said nobody cares. Everyone goes there to have fun, and they're like, "But," and I was like, "Yeah, we like." I feel like if you go to Japan and Korea, karaoke is like a must.
Whenever I go on a wrestling trip, karaoke is a must. Like I have to do at least karaoke at least once. I did that in North Carolina for Revolution. Did not do that in the UK when I went to All In. So
it's not such a big thing here. My UK karaoke just me singing around the house really loudly all the time.
There we go.
Interesting. I've only done karaoke twice in my life, and it's been in
what?
Yeah, only twice. One time in Chinatown here in New York City.
I used to go in Chinatown all the time
with a bunch of my friends from work, and then another time in Koreatown with another set of other of my friends and stuff like that. And that
the best places to go. Those are like the top places.
Yeah, those are usually the best karaoke places. Oh yeah, I was just thinking about it. I was like, you didn't go to Baby Steph's birthday that one time.
No, not that. No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't fear.
But let's go back into World Tag League 2020.
Karaoke now, because I saw that.
We went into karaoke. Okay, what is your favorite song to play at karaoke, Sonal?
See, that's hard. So now, obviously, like I'm into K-pop now. So if you imagine karaoke's fun, imagine doing K-pop karaoke when you don't know 99% of the words, but you just vibe with it. Any K-pop song,
you just vibe with it.
Yeah. And guys, if you like, I know K-pop's a divisive thing, but it's basically like wrestling. You know, it triggers. Go and listen to the K-pop band 70s. There, that's my plug. I love doing their karaoke. Specifically, type in 17 God of Light. It's a parody song that they did of their own song, and it's very good.
Interesting.
My favorite songs to karaoke are Creed, Higher, and My Sacrifice. Because I do a very good impersonation of the lead singer of Creed.
Oh man.
SP3 is the man of impressions. We've obviously heard his Gator one. But not for a while though.
Man, them said Creed, yo. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's my favorite song to do at karaoke. When you are with me, I'm free.
Everyone in the comments, put down what your favorite karaoke song is. I always feel like, another one that's a good one. Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles, because I always just think of Jill.
Oh, yes, absolutely. When me and Sonal go karaoke, we are doing that together. Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Carlton, 1,000 Miles. I just think of Terry Crews in White Chicks.
Literally, do you know what I mean? You do the head one.
But let's go back to World Tag League 2024.
Back to what we're here for.
We had 6-man tag team action. Los Ingobernables de Japon, Shingo Takagi, Yota Tsuji, and Bushi teaming up to face the Bullet Clubs, Kenta, Chase Owens, and Gato. This was basically what you would expect this to be. When you see these two teams on one side, you say one of Gato or Bushi is going to lose this one. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to be Gato. In the end, Gato found himself in the ring with Yota Tsuji after taking a series of moves from the LIJ trio. It was Tsuji who hits a big old curb stomp for the 1-2-3. Post-match, Tsuji tells Gato to send that message to his boss, David Finlay, because he's coming for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. They talked a lot on commentary about Shingo Takagi and the fact that he might have a big double championship matchup coming up at Wrestle Kingdom 19 and potentially a big title defense at Wrestle Dynasty against Tomohiro Ishii. So some very important stuff coming up for LIJ, and LIJ getting a victory here sets up what we would see later on in the show as well. So This was fine. 2.5 stars. Sonal, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Obviously, the whole link is to the David Finlay Suji match, and I just think I'm gonna say this. I think it's been a tragedy that it's taken this long for us to get the team of Suji and Shingo. It's
Yeah.
tragedy.
I mean,
Because
we've
obviously I'm not gonna
been
hate on-
asking for that for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I'm not hating on. Was it Volder? What was his partner last year? I always forget.
Zendokan?
Zandakon. No hate to Zandakon, but last year I thought that should have happened. But I think was Shingo champion last year because last year they had the thing where they didn't have people who had Wrestle Kingdom matches in.
Yeah, he was never openweight champion.
Yeah, so obviously they use that as an excuse. But we shouldn't have had to wait this long for that team.
I agree.
They were my favorite team of the World Tag League, LIJ, Suji, and Shingo, and the fact that they came up with their own freaking finisher, the pumping blaster.
You know how awesome that is? Like, it is so impactful.
Yeah,
it works.
Very well.
He
knows what did you think?
I mean, the match worked. It was yet again this show itself was just a lot of just fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, obviously we're still building with towards Suji and David Finlay. We're building towards not whatever. We're building towards Shingo versus Takeshita at Wrestle Kingdom because that's not a Wrestle Dynasty match. It was all solid stuff at the end of the day. I feel like, I'm still in that mode right now where it's like there's still some things that are unsettled for me. The next couple of weeks are gonna tell me what's gonna be built out. So I'm still kind of like waiting for me to feel the hype towards Wrestle Kingdom and the Wrestle Dynasty and stuff like that. So
I think that's the thing. They've hyped so much, but there's still a whole lot we can expect. Because Wrestle Kingdom's like 4.5 hours. That's not even including, like, I assume there's going to be like a pre-show Rambo or something. And it's like, that's the reason that New Japan has those Road 2 shows. Because that is the point where they're going to start like hyping everything up. And yeah, like Jane says, there's a lot of things that we're still expecting, even though a lot has been already announced. So I think the next few weeks, even like something like the Strong Show, stuff like that is going to happen. So that I don't forget to mention this, we did get a show or 2 shows back, a Keno appearance at a New Japan proper show. Him wanting to talk to his long lost lover, that is Kenta. And him challenging Kenta to a match for the 25th anniversary Noah show, which I think is super important for Kenta to appear in, outside of Nakamura even being there when he has no ties to fucking Noah, but it is what it is there. It is what it is.
I feel like Nakamura and Noah, I felt like it just got announced and the hype died within that day.
I saw it once appear on like the day you got announced, and since then I've heard like nothing.
Yeah, because he's over in WWE doing this whole dark. Yes. There you go. Whatever dark samurai.
The Dark Samurai, Shinsuke Nakamura, the new United States champion.
Yeah.
Wait, is that really what he's doing? The Dark Samurai.
Yeah. It's like a dark. It's a dark character take. So basically, if I want to put it to you in Japanese wrestling terms, Nakamura is doing his best Great Muta impression with a samurai gimmick.
And he's got the black. He's got black face paint over his eye with the red shade and everything.
And then he's misting people too. So that's
he's got black mist.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with mist. What's another wrestler who spits mist at people?
Right. I think on Friday for SmackDown, he was able to scare away the New Bloodline by just spilling out
he didn't scare them away. They just said, we ain't gonna mess with this sick nigga.
I'm looking at pictures. So he comes out with like a cape.
Yes.
Or is that not a cape? It's part of his samurai gear.
Maybe samurai cape. I don't know.
Samurai adjacent.
And he's got a new theme.
Wait, Wait, he got rid of his theme music.
So it's a darker play on his original theme music is really what it is.
Oh, okay. I thought they got rid
Yeah.
of like, dude, you can't get rid of that beauty of a theme song.
So it's lower chords in the violins than it is.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's been a well done repackage. That's that match for Survivor Series. I was like, they're gonna make him lose already, and he won. So it's off to a good start.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to not mention the Keno appearance and Kenta having his Noah.
Which Kenta are we gonna see? Which Kenta are we gonna see?
Supposedly, he's a little bit reinvigorated right now, and you know.
Did we watch the same match that we just discussed?
I'm talking about what Walker and Chris were saying on commentary. I'm not talking about the match itself.
His match against Oiwa at the last Strong show was probably the best he's done in like 2 years. So
and that was a high 3-star matchup.
Yeah, but that's probably the most that I've seen out of Kenta in a long time. So maybe that's the kind of Kenta they're expecting.
At the end of the day, you know, it's an anniversary show. It could come off well. I don't know.
We shall see. Next up, we had some more multi-man action. This time, a 10-man tag team matchup of House of Torture, Evil, Renarita, Yujiro Takahashi, Sho, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toriano, Bolton Oleg, Jado, and Tamaki Honma. This one was your prototypical House of Torture matchup. A lot of shenanigans, a lot of dirty tactics were at play or tried by the House of Torture to get the victory here. But in the end, it just drove Tanahashi to the edge, it seems. As Tanahashi blocked a steel chair shot by Evil, he grabs the steel chair and he just goes ballistic. He gives him as many steel chair shots in this matchup here than Stone Cold Steve Austin gave to The Rock at WrestleMania 17, to the point that the chair broke after like the 5th chair shot, and he just kept hitting him with what's left of the chair. And he had a couple of his tag team partners who looked scared and looked like they wanted to pull him off, but they decided not to, as Yano was rooting him on. Great Bash heel Yano, apparently. In the end, after Evil was saved by the rest of House of Torture, are pulled and bailed out of the ring, Tanahashi gets on the mic and he challenges Evil because Evil has been harassing Tanahashi to put his career on the line so he can retire him 1 year earlier than Tanahashi planned. So he says, yes, I will put my career on the line at Wrestle Kingdom 19 in our singles match, but it has to be a lumberjack match. So that means that members of House of Torture, members of Hontai will surround the ring and will get one-on-one a retirement matchup. Tanahashi versus Evil. If Evil wins, Tanahashi must retire 1 year early. Sonal, what did you think about this matchup? Not going to give it a star rating. Not worth my time. It had a non-finish.
Five
1 star. 1.5 stars.
Tanahashi beating the shit out of Evil.
I think it was a well done angle. I think if I graded it on an angle, it's like a 3.5 star angle because it did actually get me a look to pay attention a little bit more to the build of Tanahashi versus Evil. Because ever since this was announced, I was like, well, that's the match I'm gonna try to get something to eat or use the bathroom or wake my kids up in the early in the morning to do something, so I don't have to watch that matchup. But now I'm a little bit more invested now that his career's on the line. It's very similar to the booking choice that AEW took when they had the whole, Bryan Danielson saying that he's finishing up his full-time career, and then they add the retirement angle to All In for his matchup with Swerve. Of course, that was a bigger and better matchup than what we're going to get with Tanahashi and Evil, but it's a similar tactic of you've already put out there this guy is closing out his career. Why not add a retirement angle to this matchup to make it feel bigger, make it have more stakes? So I like that. What did you think, Sonal?
Yeah, I mean, I think this added bit is being more interesting considering, their match that they had, like the final block match that was obviously between them, where obviously Tanahashi had his leg worked, and I think all of this of Tana basically getting the shit beaten out of him by House of Torture hopefully leads to because everyone's saying this, the whole point of this is meant to be like Shacho Tanahashi, he made this promise, and even the wrestlers are like, well, you made this promise, but you've not stuck to it. And I think everything we've seen of him getting his ass whooped, and then obviously from today, I think that it proves that we're going to see a different Tanahashi, and hopefully we get like a happy ending. But I mean, if not, I get to witness Tanahashi's retirement live. Ooh. But hopefully it does, but hopefully it doesn't lead to that, and hopefully it is a case of like House of Torture is going to get their like comeuppance.
I'm really hoping that Tanahashi wins at Wrestle Kingdom, and that is the season finale of House of Torture. Can we like retire?
Stipulation: if Tanahashi loses, he retires. If House of Torture loses, they disband and can never be in the same ring with each other again.
That should be the stipulation, not this whole Tanahashi doing the retirement thing, because I feel they're gonna freaking juice this thing to death. He's gonna have like 7 retirement matches this year, because that's what New Japan does. They take one thing and then they freaking grind it into powder.
I feel like they're gonna do it differently. I feel like obviously this is gonna be like if he loses, he retires. I think the rest of it, if he like wins this one, I think the rest of the retirement matches are just gonna be like all of his like greatest opponents coming and like
hopefully he's been there from the beginning.
Yeah. Hopefully Okada even makes an appearance.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like, if New Japan can work out a deal with AEW and Okada, that he's the opponent at Wrestle Kingdom 20.
I don't think that would be the case. Maybe like a Forbidden Door or something. I know it's shit to do it there, but it depends on Okada's willingness to do a full New Japan show.
Right.
I want Okada to beat Tanahashi on his final New Japan match and Tanahashi's final New Japan match.
I'd fly out for that. I'd do Wrestle Kingdom 20 as well if that was the final match.
And to me, the last person who got a great match out of Tanahashi was Okada. So
that was before the knees went.
I mean, his knees has been going for like 2-3 years now.
But it felt like after Okada left, Tanahashi's knees were like, okay, Okada's gone. I'm also going.
Dude, well. Like there's like watching the match this morning. I was like, I felt like, and I know like for the last year and some change, I've been saying, man, like the wear and tear on Tanahashi just seems super evident. But like this morning's match, I was like, I feel like I've never seen Tanahashi so out of shape before. And I was like, what is going on?
He was kind of like that in the matches with him. Because what did Zach say? He said in the match between LIJ, so Naito, Hiromu, Jado, and Tanahashi, when Hiromu's the only one with good knees in this.
Yo, I was like, what a choice by New Japan. I don't know, this wasn't their first choice. I know it was supposed to be ELP and Tanahashi, but goddamn, putting them in there with Jado. How was Jado moving faster than him at times?
That's why I said to myself, I remember when we did some of the reviews and previews before, I was like, maybe they'll choose somebody else. I didn't want to go de facto Jado because I was like, maybe they'll just have somebody join Tanahashi for the bits, and they just.
But it's like, who else would they have? There's literally nobody in Hontai, and there's nobody who could do it.
Yeah, I know.
I love how optimistic Jay News is sometimes, and then he's always doing shows with me, who's not that optimistic and always wants to tell the truth. I'm always here to be like, nope, that ain't happening. Yeah. I know this company that ain't happening with this company. Maybe another one. So we'll see what happens with this lumberjack matchup coming up at Wrestle Kingdom. But speaking of Wrestle Kingdom, our next matchup was another preview for the January 4th card, as we had IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Zack Sabre Jr. leading TMDK's Roye Uyowa and Kosei Fujita to face Hontai's Shota Umino, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Alex Zane. Funky Sauce, which I thought they were a fun tag team during World Tag League here, and I thought that this match was fun. I love the interactions between Shota Umino and Zack Sabre Jr., where you're seeing kind of like the what we regularly see from New Japan Pro Wrestling. When you put two guys in the ring enough times, whether it's in singles matches, whether it's in tag team matches, whether it's in multi-man matches, they have this kind of effortless chemistry that once they hit the ring, they're moving at like 100 miles an hour faster than a lot of regular guys can move in the ring, because they know what the other person's going to do. They know what sequences they're about to hit every which way. And we're starting to see that with Shota Umino and Zack Sabre Jr. in the ring as we head up to January 4th. I thought Ryohei Uiwa and Kosei Fujita showing that energy, bringing that energy to the matchup, and they made good foils for the Funky Sauce duo. In the end, it was Ryohei Uiwa who put on the rear naked choke. Once it looked like Taguchi was falling asleep, he turned his ass around and hit him with the grip. Turned him inside out. 1, 2, 3. Uiwa picking up the victory for the TMDK trio. Post-match, we got Shota Umino making allusions to his injured ankle, telling Zack Sabre Jr., try it, grab my ankle. Trying to challenge the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion to test his recent injury ahead of January 4th. Thought this was probably the best of the multi-man matches on this show. I gave it 3.25 stars. Jay News, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, this, I don't know if folks watched the last review or preview show that we did. I right now, at this immediate moment, am just not a believer in the shooter. I'm just not a believer in the shooter. Not right now, not in this immediate moment.
Don't tell SP3 that. Me and SP3 have always been on the Shota bandwagon.
It's not clicking right now for me for whatever reason. CSJ is always great. The Grip. Interesting nickname, by the way, but The Grip, Ryohei Uiwa. That dude, there's still a lot to be mined with The Grip. So I wanted to see a little bit. I want to see a little bit more from him in the coming years and stuff like that. Fujita comes to mind because social media is such a weird place. It is such a weird place, SP3. I want to tell you why. Right, a couple of days ago, I was going through my feed, and I think I was reading something that Walker was talking about. He was talking about Fujita and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he's saying something cool about Fujita. No, he wasn't saying something cool about Fujita. There is a photo of Fujita who decided to climb a mountain, and I think it was during a photo shoot or something of that nature. Fujita's buck naked on the top of this mountain.
I think I read about. I've not seen it. I read about that picture. I'm gonna search it now.
I'm there like, wait a minute, what am I seeing here? Right. So Walker's talking about how tenacious and how courageous Fujita is for doing all this outdoorsy stuff, and then we see this shot of Fujita's ass and from behind, and I'm there like, what is going on? I wanted to mention this because it's like New Japan guys find so many different ways to promote themselves, if you want to call it that, or express.
That's quite a way to
express themselves
and express yourself.
I can't find the picture. Someone tag me this thing because I've heard about. I saw it, but I haven't seen the picture.
I was like, what is this? I was like, okay, whatever works, bro. I mean, because and then the picture of, I think it was Will Ospreay, Okada in the tub or whatever.
Chaos was always great. You can't go wrong with that.
I was like, what? Okay, whatever works. It is what it is. I think Fujita is the future of the junior division, but I was not ready to see such things on my timeline.
I think they deleted it because I can't find it anywhere.
So it was
they scrubbed it off of the interwebs. It's all gone. It's all
yeah.
gone.
They still have the concursor where we saw Despi's bare ass last year.
So I mentioned that because it's like, man, these guys express themselves in such unique ways, outside of the wrestling ring, and it's interesting to see what kind of people they are outside of the ring. It's
like Okan's social media is the funniest thing.
It's the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing. It really, really is. He in one sense can be the hero of the people, and then in another picture directly, he's the most misogynistic son of a bitch you've ever seen in your life. So it's just there's layers.
Like the duality of people.
There's layers to these guys. There's layers to these guys. I just wanted to mention that because it was hilarious to me. It was interesting to me. It was oddly artistic to me to see it that way as well. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever works, I guess. But yeah, still not sold on Shooter. Funky Sauce, I've been a big fan of Alex Zane for years, man. I'm still tripping that he's not signed to a major company, to be quite honest.
But maybe that's how he likes it. He
yeah, that's true too, because that WWE stint really didn't do anything for him. So
WWE stint.
Yeah, 205. He did the 205 live thing. Him, Blake Christian. It was some weird shit.
It was when they were doing all those weird names for guys from the indies coming into WWE.
Yeah, it was weird, but yeah, I forget what it is. It was a weird name though. Yeah,
Ari Sterling.
Ari Sterling. There you go. A very Jewish name in my community. So at the end of the day.
I found it. Oh, I mean, he basically the same. He has wild hair. Fair enough.
Yeah. The appearance was the same. The name was just different at the end of the day. But it was. I like Taguchi's odd pairings with all these different wrestlers throughout the years. Be it in the juniors, now in tag league, Fantastica Mania time, like all that stuff. Like it always ends up working by the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
So I got to give Taguchi credit where credit is due. I even liked the likened Alex Zane gear that he had on. So
he had the jacket, the vest on from day
one. Shoes as well. Did you see even the shoes were identical?
Yeah. So props to Taguchi for always
commitment to the bit.
Exactly. There you go. Always committed.
Sonal, what did you think about the trios matchup here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, J News. I normally agree with you on a lot of stuff, but I am for this Shooter thing. Like me and SP3, we've said it. Like I like, even though obviously my heart is gonna move Zach, I will still cheer on Shooter because I remember meeting him when he was like a young lion at the first Royal Quest, and like he's not had it easy. Do you know what I mean? The company have tried, and like he's had all this backlash and stuff, and I feel like he's like do you know what I mean? Sometimes it doesn't hit all the time, and I still got hope. Do you know what I mean? I've still got hope that Shota can. Because the thing is, we've seen Shota's had great matches. He had that great match against Ospreay and things. And I'm hoping that having a good a good opponent like Zach. Because I always say, Zach, I think there's very few, if any, maybe one that I watch, bad matches that Zach has had. And that has never been on Zach. Yeah. So, like, whatever it is, whatever happens, it's going to be a good match.
I think we're in for a 4.5-star classic in the main event of Tokyo.
I hope you're right.
And I'm gonna send SPG loads of pictures of Shota Umino.
I'm a part of the Shooter agenda. The Shooter agenda has continued, and it's going to the Tokyo Dome. But who else would be going to the Tokyo Dome as we had our main event for this show? World Tag League 2024 final matchup. You have the B block winner Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi of Los Ingobernables de Japon facing the A block winner Gabe Kidd SANADA, the Bullet Club War Dogs. Quite different journeys for both teams, but also both teams are kind of makeshift teams that have been seemingly getting together, growing in chemistry throughout this tournament. And this matchup started with a wild brawl because Gabe Kidd is a part of this matchup. So usually how it goes. But Tetsuya Naito, no stranger to a wild brawl. Hiromu Takahashi, SANADA as well. No stranger to that. So this went all around the building for a bit. They got back into the ring. We got some big plunder being used, like Gabe Kidd giving a big power bomb through a table to Tetsuya Naito. A lot of four-way offense. Everybody getting into the ring, hitting big matches as we got down to the closing stretch of this matchup. A lot of big moves back and forth forth by both teams. It looked like Naito was going to get the job done with the Destino, but the cover was broken up. It looked like Gabe Kidd was going to get the win with the drill a hole power driver, but that fall was breaking up. You get Hiromu hit the time bomb, but Sanada was able to kick out. Sanada got skull and the moonsault, but Hiromu was able to kick out of that one. Back and forth, some very close near falls down the stretch, but it came down to the former LIJ members, Sanada and Hiromu Takahashi. And in the end, despite the size difference, despite being a junior heavyweight, Hiromu Takahashi made history by getting the win with the Hiromu roll on Sanada. 1, 2, 3. And Los Ingobernables de Japon are your 2024 World Tag League champions, picking up the victory here. But it just got better in the post-match, as since the whole state of the heavyweight tag team division is up in the air. It's in flux thanks to the injury of Hanare and the vacancy for the IWGP World Tag Team Championships. Naito said, how about we finally do it? Instead of going for the IWGP Tag Team Championships, we go one-on-one January 4th, Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom 19, Hiromu Takahashi versus Tetsuya Naito. Hiromu accepted the challenge. He thanked Naito for everything he's taught him over the years, for this victory in World Tag League, and for their upcoming matchup in the Tokyo Dome. So a fitting ending, and we basically got what we said from the beginning of the tournament. We said at the beginning of the tournament when we heard Naito and Hiromu would be teaming up, we said this is going to be their road to setting up their matchup for Wrestle Kingdom. And I don't think none of us had in the cards that they were going to win World Tag League before setting up their match for Wrestle Kingdom. But that's how the cookie crumbles, and a big win for LIJ, who has taken a number of huge losses over the last couple of months, whether it's Shingo against ZSJ at Power Struggle, whether it was Naito losing the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. They needed a big victory like this. They got it here. What did you think, Sonal, about the main event, the results, and the aftermath in the post-match? Myself, I thought this was by far the best match on the show. It got the most time, and I thought that all four guys played their roles very well. But I gave the match 3.5 stars. It was good, but not great. What did you think?
See, I really liked it. I think I gave it about 4.25, just because I loved the storytelling in it. From the very beginning, when like Hiromu and Gabe were trading chops, and like, you know, the taunting Gabe did about the junior stuff. The match itself went crazy. You had a table. They went outside. And what I liked to this match, because one thing I hate about professional wrestling is when people see it in black and white. Heels, baby faces. LIJ are the perfect reminder of tweeners, that tweeners exist, because we saw Sanada was like doing his heel stuff, you know, hitting in the dick, pulling the ref. We always want heels to get given their own medicine. And Naito did that. Exactly. When Song had the pin over Hiromu, Naito pulled out red shoes. When it came to a low blow, Naito did it. And it's that small things, because if you think about it, even the chemistry between, like when Sanada was in the room, because remember, how many years were Naito and Hiromu teammates with Sanada? This is the first time they have got in the ring with this incarnation. And I like that now Naito's like, well, okay, we were once friends. You left LIJ amicably, but now that's out the window. You're a heel now. We're going to play you at your own game. And the whole added shock of obviously the Hiromu win with that roll-up was phenomenal. Now, I've seen people up and down about this result, because obviously in the past, if you win World Tag League, then you get your Wrestle Kingdom shot. Now, I like that Chris Charlton has brought this up, because this is the same with what happened with Zach. There is nothing in the rules that states that if you win the G1 or if you win World Tag League, that you have to challenge at Wrestle Kingdom.
No.
Like, it's an unwritten rule, but there's nothing about it. And I like that changing it up. And I think, one, to have Hiromu versus Naito at Wrestle Kingdom is the only place you could have it, because there are thousands of fans who will probably just now in Japan buy tickets to watch that match, because they are two of the most popular people in the company. And two, it especially makes sense because we don't know what is going on with these tag belts. Yeah. For all we know, it could have been something different. They could have had Sanada and Gabe winning and then challenging the Empire, and then still managed to find a way to get this singles match, because like they could have done it in the post match. But again, this injury was so last minute. I think it was 4 or 5, because it was on the day before the final blocks.
Yeah.
So like there's going to be a lot of chaos happening backstage, right? Because again, they've had to figure out what they're doing with the Young Bucks match and stuff like that. So I think the best thing that they could do was have fan favorites win the tournament and then set up for a match that everyone wants. And again, it's now going to.
I think that Young Bucks are going to face Hiromu and Naito at Wrestle Dynasty to determine the new champs.
I've never liked the Young Bucks, so I'm not gonna say I'm shooting.
You're a Young Bucks hater? Oh my God, we got Shota Umino and David Finlay hater over here. We got Young Bucks hater over here.
I'm out. I'm not a shooter hater. I'm right now. It's not clicking right now. David Finlay, I'll own to the death of me. I'll own.
You will hate Finlay.
You have no choice. There's no limitation.
I know the thing with the Young Bucks is, so I used to like the Young Bucks. I actually got into like New Japan and stuff with the help of like being the elite. However, it's just like I get it's their shtick. That's the thing. It's just I think it was during when they went heavyweight in New Japan. I just lost any interest in them. They just came. They won titles. We never saw them. Blah blah blah. I think that was the beginning of the end of the New Japan heavyweight tag team division. Whereas the juniors have been able to get back, because I was going to mention this earlier. They even mentioned this in commentary where they were like, the heavyweights have always been seen as the weaker division, the tag ones. So I'm like,
absolutely
acknowledge it. Great for acknowledging.
Yeah.
But for me, it almost happened after the Bucks did it, because they made the title lose any legitimacy, and after that, there was that's my opinion.
Okay? Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
I can see SP3 judging me like crazy.
I'm not judging you. I just don't agree with your opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So then after that, and obviously after they left, then you obviously had like Dangerous Tech and stuff. But I feel like that was like that point for me. That's just what I'm saying. But back onto Hiromu and Naito, I feel like this is a conversation for another day.
I would say the people that beat them for the titles is the real reason why the heavyweight tag team division was
who
not
beat
good
them
for
again?
a while. Bloodline members, Tama Tonga and Tangaloa.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I do not take Gorillas of Destiny blasphemy here.
I'm not saying anything about Tama Tonga. He saved that tag team for years. I'm talking about his tag team partner.
I will not take Gorillas of Destiny slander. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm giving Tonga Loa slander to everyone.
To be fair, I've not been watching him in WWE, but I've heard. But I've seen clips. All being linked to that. You know that one Okada clip from New Japan. That one Okada clip that keeps coming back every few months.
That's him doing the 619.
To talk about this particular match that we were supposed to be talking about here for this moment.
We always go so off tangent.
Hiromu and Naito, great match to have at Wrestle Kingdom, by the way. Hiromu always wanted that Wrestle Kingdom spotlight. This might be a way for him to work it up if he's able to beat Naito. And maybe in the following Wrestle Kingdom, he can have a bigger spotlight on him and things of that nature. So we'll see as to what happens there. Actually, SP3, I don't agree with the fact, or don't agree with your prognostication about the LIJ members facing off with the Young Bucks. I feel like they're going to do something different there with that match. I can't tell you what it is, but I don't think it's going to be LIJ.
I love that. This guy, your whole gimmick on these reviews and previews have been you not agreeing with me, but not coming up with a solution. No. You find a problem with what I predict, right, but you don't know what you're predicting.
No, because I don't know. I don't have the pencil in my hand, man. Okay.
Is there anyone who is still active as a tag team that the Bucks were like feuding with at some point?
At that point,
it's not, is there?
Yeah, I don't think there's any real tag teams that are still around in New Japan from when the Bucks were.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That would be the obvious choice, but like you said, they've all gone. Like God have gone. Anyone in the junior division have split up. I don't know whether I don't think they had anything with Dangerous Techers. I think Techers was after, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
Bishamon is the only one they have any type of history with, but that's more
Maybe
from
Bishamon.
Bishamon coming over to AEW.
Maybe
Right.
Bishamon then. I feel because maybe Bishamon. I don't know. There's nothing clear. That's the thing. Hanare's injury
Right.
has probably thrown a lot into the spanner. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
actually insane because that not only had a whole thing set for Wrestle Kingdom, but that was going to then implicate on the 5th. And now you've got no tag champions. It's like, what do we do?
It's like, what are we gonna do? They're gonna do some shuffling around over the next couple of weeks for sure. But yeah, like I said, I thought the main event was good. I didn't think it went to that next gear to be great.
Right.
I thought it was just a good to very good main event matchup, but I felt like they could have got to another level, but maybe that level isn't achievable with Naito having no knees.
No knees like her.
I'll say this, and I know it's part of their character dynamic, but like from the optic part of it, it's like Sanada walking away after the loss just seemed very off.
Yeah, but that's what he's done. JJ, to piggyback on that, but that's what Sanada's done the entire thing. Aside from the main event, every time they either get a win or a loss, he's not done a single post match behind this. You know what I mean? The after comments. So this is what I think. Gabe Kidd after that gave him a big ass whooping.
Smack him upside the head. Punch him.
Maybe the special singles match on January. Sanada versus Gabe Kidd, because Gabe Kidd I lost 2 partners and you couldn't fill the hole.
Nah, you got to give us Tai Chi versus Sanada.
Yeah,
I think they set that up either. I think January 4th is probably the spot to do that. I think we might get like 10 matches on Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Good, I get value for money. How exciting.
Absolutely. That's all I'm thinking about. What Sonal's going to experience live.
To be fair, though, but I was already excited for the card. There were some great matches, but throwing in Naito versus Hiromu is just like, here's some more excitement. Here's more. Yes, take it all.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's going to be definitely a story-driven type of matchup. Their history with one another, and then you got the banger of Takeshita and Shingo. You got the main event, which is going to be a 4.5-star classic. J News. You got Suji and David Finlay.
I was going to say, as much as J News is going to be cringing behind that, that's going to be a good match. Yeah.
Listen, I think that Finlay and Suji is going to be a great match. If any of these matches from Wrestle Kingdom are telling us anything about going into Wrestle Dynasty, right? The only one that doesn't have to be a championship match is the one between David Finlay and Brody King. That's the only one.
No, to be fair, though, I'm like Jay News. I think Suji's going to win. But then Suji's got Jack Perry, doesn't he, the next
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's going to defend the Global Heavyweight Championship.
That's right. Against Jack, because Jack needs the push at this point.
Also, we forgot to mention Doki and Desperado and the four-way tag. They're going to be awesome.
Those 2 matches are going to be very, very good.
And then hopefully a Rambo where Yo decides to run in like a madman doing God knows.
So who's gonna the Rambo doesn't necessarily ever have big surprises, right? Bunch of New Japan dads, maybe some
legend returning.
Yeah. I like it because it's normally the guys who I like who aren't on the card. So you'll have like Yo, Master Wato,
Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Ishii doesn't have a match, but I guess he has.
Well, he's on Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah. But for me, that's like you get to see everyone who didn't make it. Taguchi will probably be on that. There'll be some nice butt antics at some point.
Funky weapon.
I paid for butt antics.
You paid for butt stuff. But
yo, first of all, did you hear what Chris Charlton said during commentary during the Funky Weapon match?
Wait, what did he say?
So it was a tag team maneuver. It was Taguchi going from one side, it was Alexander going from another side, and they clashed cheeks against I forget who it was. And Chris Charlton said something about eating ass, and I said to myself, "What the fuck is going on?"
To be fair, can I say Between Taguchi and Dick Togo, commentary's having the time of their lives.
It's like a whole bunch of references to dicks and butts.
Did you hear
How
Shane
about it?
Hayes? When Shane Hayes was on commentary, he was making the most of it with those dick jokes. He was like, and then Taguchi like ass to ass contact. It was so funny.
I was like, did he
Ass
just
to
say
ass
something about
contact.
eating ass? I was like, what is going on?
Score
This
one
is
for
what
Chris
we
Charlton
pay
and
on
Walker.
New Japan subscription for.
Oh my
We thank
god.
them. We thank them so much for that. But yes, we made it to the end of our review of NJPW World Tag League 2024 final. Let us know in the live chat what you thought. Give us your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? And a final call for super chat donations. If you want to show some love, show your support to what we're doing here, always appreciate those. But for me, Sonal, NJ
Is this
News.
the whole show, or is this the show or the whole tournament?
Okay, we'll do the whole show, and then me and you will do the tournament. So for the final show this morning, NJPW World Tag League 2024 final in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs in the middle across the board from all of us. And then for me and Sonal for the tournament overall, thumbs in the middle in 3, 2, 1. Say,
Block A, block A, block B.
Fair, yes. I would say this much for
Yeah,
Block.
I think that's a bit harsh. There were some all right matches, but yeah, Block A gets a definite thumbs up because Block A had some phenomenal matches.
Yeah, they had some really great matches in Block A, but Block B wasn't it. So yeah, I probably would say it averages out to a thumbs in the middle for the tournament overall. Out of 10, what did you give today's show, Sonal?
It's probably a 6. I personally really liked the main event. I think that was phenomenal, probably more than you did. I just think it was the other matches weren't as impactful, which I guess I think maybe it's because we've had such amazing shows. But again, World Tag League final has never been that big. I guess it's just because of what New Japan have given us the past few months. Our expectations are like heightened. But for a World Tag League final, it's average, you know, it made sense.
Yeah, it was a one-match show. The match was good. But when you have 8 matches and only one match is really good, that's a thumbs in the middle. Sometimes it's even a thumbs down show. I think me giving it thumbs in the middle tells you how much I enjoyed the main event. The main event was good.
I think the other matches, there was nothing bad about it. Again, I think it's just because normally
it wasn't 7 other like bad matches, but will I remember them in a week? Probably not.
But I feel like it's just like the best of Super Junior final and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a show that
there'd be angles. They set up angles because they're building towards Dominion.
But it's hard though, isn't it? I think I always say this because World Tag League has now been one of my favorite. World Tag League is in one of the most difficult spots because everyone's exhausted. It's been like a whole long year of wrestling, and like a lot of the matches have been set up. And honestly, does anyone really care about the heavyweight tag division? Not really.
Apparently not. I mean, didn't see much talk about the World Tag League.
Whereas the Junior Tag League was proper high. Like I loved the Junior Tag League this year.
Yeah, everybody was talking about that.
Yeah, so I think this is the problem. The funny thing is because heavyweight to junior, there are so many more heavyweight. Yeah, how are you going to tell me that the smaller junior division can do amazing best of Super Junior and Super Junior Tag League?
I think it has more to do with the style of wrestling than anything else, to be quite honest. So which is why it captivates more people in that sense. And yeah, World Tag League hasn't. No disrespect to Bishamon, but like World Tag League hasn't been it for a while, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Bishamon can't carry an entire tournament on their backs when they're only in like one block as well.
Yeah, so it's a tough dynamic, you know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, even with me saying thumbs in the middle for the tournament, I would say this was better than last year's tournament. Last year's tournament, it was just the final. At least this tournament had multiple matches that were great.
Even if it was just in one block. Even if it was just one block.
Yeah, even if it was just in one block, at least I watched multiple nights. Like I remember last year, I did not watch any of the nights because I didn't hear any good stuff about any of the matches.
New Japan knew that it struggled last year, and that's why they put in the champions. because they knew if you left out Zack Sabre Jr., a Shingo Takagi, do you know what I mean? By adding the champions, you add star power. Do you know what I mean? You're instantly gonna get good matches, and I think that was New Japan going shit. We're really struggling.
Can I just say something? That I know you two you're probably gonna agree with, but I just wanted to make sure to put it out there in the universe. The New Japan World TV title has meant absolutely nothing since Ren Narita won it.
Yes.
He doesn't bring it out, does he?
I haven't seen it.
I'm not seeing it.
Dude, like it's you make like between Zach and Jeff Cobb, you make it this, to you lack of a better term, this prestigious title. Then you have Narita win it to do what with it exactly? And
I think the problem is it's House of Torture in it. It was never like we can jump and shout for. We weren't saying Ren Narita can do this and can do under the banner of House of Torture. Nothing. It's like when Sho had the junior title. Yep. Ask us 4 years ago when he was with Roppongi 3K. All of us wanted Sho as champion, but when we got it, it's just
it buries the championship. It buries the importance of the championship. And I don't think, like, as a heel faction, it shouldn't do that. People should want to see
like War Dogs.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Like you hate David Finlay, but like you know he has the title. That is still in your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you want to see people beat him for the title.
Exactly. Yeah.
We forget the title is it. Like I made beats in the chat saying I forgot Ren won the belt. Exactly.
In my head, I thought it was still Jeff Cobb because he's carrying the Filipino title. I was like, oh, it's a TV.
Yeah, for a second, I was like, did I misremember it? And he had a title from it. I was like, did I misremember this? What did you give the tournament overall, Sonal, for World Tag?
6.5, but that is mainly just because I have to average out the really, really good block A with the really, really average block B.
I'm going to say for today's show, I will give it a 6 out of 10. No, I'll go as high as a 6.5 out of 10 because I'm really judging it on the one match. So I'll go 6.5 out of 10 for today's show. So thumbs in the middle. And then for the tournament overall, 6 out of 10. I thought that was much more good to great matches in this tournament than last year's tournament, but it's just all for one block, so I can't grade it higher than a 6 out of 10.
But then the problem is if you'd have split some of that, you would have lost the great matches in one side. You know what I mean? Like imagine them saying, "Oh, we've got to have Shingo and Tsuji facing House of Torture."
I think they could have put Sanada. I think it would have made more sense actually to put Sanada and Gabe in B block, so they could have faced Taichi and Taka.
Yeah, and then lead to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
but I liked that Gabe and Sanada had some good matches with the big stars. You know, sometimes sometimes when we have great matches.
I love the match with LIJ, but I'm just saying if I had to choose one team that could have made both blocks better, I would have been probably Bullet Club War Dogs. J News, what did you give today's show out of 10?
I'm with y'all. I gave it a solid 6. Like I said, the majority of it was just fine. You know, the main event was good. At the end of the day, I guess whatever Sonata's doing from a heel perspective is working because it just pisses me off to watch him on the screen. You know, so crop tops. God damn it!
Crop top Sonata.
And I was like, the character changes, not even evolution. The character changes he's gone through in the last 3 years are like I don't even know what to say anymore.
Has he tied with Robbie Eagles as the most factions he's been in? Him and Robbie Eagles on this because Rob obviously had Bullet Club, then he had Chaos, and now he's TMDK. Sanada had LIJ, then Just 5 Guys, and now Bullet Club.
This is, and mind you, Just 5 Guys was his faction. It was him and Taichi who came up with this damn faction. God damn it, man. Anyway,
he had to be out.
I gave the show a solid 6. A good main event. I understood the stories from jump just because I knew the World Tag League wasn't going to necessarily embellish or evolve much from a singles perspective and whatnot. But then, obviously, like I stated before, the injuries that happened to Cobb and to Cal Newman and stuff like that which was just a show or two before, or whatever the case is, really like tore everything apart, obviously. And at this point, going into Wrestle Kingdom, we've got a certain amount of matches that we know that we're going to have. The Road 2 shows might give us some more depth and detail as to other things that are going to be happening. So I'm actually going to be paying attention to the Road 2 shows, so I can get a better idea. For whatever reason, not looking forward to the Long Beach show, to be quite honest. But I don't have to pay extra for it anymore, so I'm good with that.
Hey, that is a bright side. There is a bright side.
So
yeah, because this one they haven't blessed us with New Japan World like the last one.
Yeah.
But if you guys are free on Friday, I'd love to preview that then. So let me know, and let me know in the chat if you want us to do that, a preview for Strong Style.
I thought you were gonna say, let me know in the chat if you want to join us.
I wouldn't go that far. Only certain people in the chat. They'll be invited. We're gonna do a call-in episode of True Hill Heat in a few weeks, so don't worry. You'll have your chance to be on screen with us. What was your match of the night from the finals, J News?
The final.
I mean, this is the easiest choice ever. It's
LIJ versus these new War Dogs, or whatever the case is. Yet again, that walk-off at the end of the match, that's what I did. I was like, what is going? This is a team? Okay, cool. But yeah, no, that match was probably the best match of the night and whatnot. After the fact, I understood the psychology of it all, but it was just getting used to it because I hadn't been watching the tournament, so it was just like it was all new to me. So I had to create my own traction of everything that was going on before I actually sat with it. And it was okay, I get it. So yeah.
So now, what was your favorite match? Your match of the night from this show and match of the tournament overall.
So match of the night is obviously LIJ versus War Dogs. Like what I said earlier, because I think it's underrated as hell. I'm going to say Taguchi and Alex Zane versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Oiwa. Please go out of your way to watch it because it was very cool.
Match of the night, obviously, LIJ versus the War Dogs. And match of the tournament, I am going to go with, you know what? I'll say LIJ versus Bullet Club War Dogs. I think that one and the LIJ TMDK matchup were two of the best. But yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us in the chat. We got I Made Beats who says Sanada played this whole tournament cool. He wasn't bothered. He wasn't stressed. He was chilling. I enjoyed it.
He's just there for the paycheck. He's just there for the paycheck.
That's what it's all about.
Proper heel.
MVP for this show, I will give it to LIJ overall because they got all their wins. So now
Hiromu. Because, like someone said, Hiromu did 80% of the work.
He did. J News.
Hiromu-chan for the win, son. That dude, he did the most outside of Gabe because Gabe also had to carry the majority of his side of the match. So there's that.
It's like we were two people who ain't going to work much. It's up to us. It's up to us, guys. But yes, let us know who you thought was MVP, LVP for the show as well, and who is your LVP for this show, Sonal?
Ren Narita, because I forgot he had the TV championship.
Fair. J News?
Absolutely. I brought it up. Sonal doubled up. I'll double down. There it is. Ren Narita.
And I'll finish it off. Make it unanimous. Ren Narita, you've made us forget the TV title. But that brings us to a close on our World Tag League 2024 final review. We appreciate y'all if you joined us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember, if you haven't already, drop the thumbs up on this video. And I want to thank my co-hosts, as always, J News, Sonal. Thank you for joining me today. Sonal, I want to give you the floor. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, where they can follow your channel, and anything else you got going on.
Yeah, so obviously you can find me at wrestling_chat on the X. That is where you'll find my new content and whenever I'm going to be on here. My general just live tweeting during shows if I can. And make sure to subscribe to Sonal's Life. I just put up like an hour before this started my own World Tag League review. And remember, and I know I mentioned it a few times, but I am going to be in Japan for Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. So if you want reviews from Japan, pictures, vlogs and everything, make sure to hit subscribe.
You heard it there first. J News.
Sonal, I just want to say something to you. While you're in Japan, do your best to go to some of the best hole-in-the-wall eateries that there is. The food in Japan, from what I've always understood, is fantastic. So if you're going to vlog some food-related stuff for your good brother J News. And I'm already a subscriber to your channel. So
to be fair, I have said, J News, anyone on the subscribers, if you have any places that you think I should go in Japan to eat, please let me know.
So what should I be saying right now? As always, folks, check me out here on True Heel Heat. Sorry. Check me out here on True Heel Heat. For talking all that New Japan goodness. We should be back on Friday doing review work for the Long Beach show. I think it's Strong Style Evolved is the name of the show. So you can catch me here. You can also catch me every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the lovely Dolores doing the Hit the Ropes podcast. That'll be I'll be doing that tonight by myself. Dolores will not be with me, but you can check me out on my YouTube channel at John L YFNMG. That's John L, my first name, JOHNEL YFNMG, your friendly neighborhood moviegoer, talking all things wrestling throughout the week. And come 2025, I will be back on the hunt in the movie game. So TBD for all that stuff. And also catch me on the Instagram as well and on the Twitter machine, because I refuse to call it X at the end of the day.
I refuse to call it that as well. I'm not here to promote anything. I just want everybody to read my headline.
Top Sanada does rule. That's very true.
Indeed. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best place to support us when we are not live here. Like J News said, we will be back talking some New Japan goodness on Friday for our NJPW Strong Style Evolved preview. We got another preview on Wednesday. Me and Maggie will be previewing WWE Saturday Night's main event. I will be back live with you tomorrow to review NXT Deadline from this past Saturday. But until then, check out all the great content we got on this channel right now, like our flagship podcast, True Hill Heat 306 from this past Saturday with me and the True Jaw Josh. Check out our True Hill Heat cut with where we ask, is the Bloodline the greatest wrestling storyline ever? Let us know in the comment section over there and check that out as well. But until then, for Sonal, for J News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our NJPW World Tag League 2024 review. We are signing off until next time.